Welcome into a Week 3 Giants Hangouts brought to you by Crestron. My name is Madelyn Burke, joined by Brandon London, Jonathan Casillas, and Russ Salzberg. Guys, what a wild Week 2 game against the Cowboys. The Giants are going to open their home slate against the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football this week. And we've got some trivia in the show. But first, we got to start with the thoughts on what happened on Sunday in Dallas. Casillas, I'll start with you here. What a game. What an exciting game. It was a tough loss for the Giants falling to the Cowboys in overtime, but what are your takeaways for this Giants team?
Well, definitely was an exciting game. Had me on the edge of my seat the whole entire game. I'm glad I was able to be on my couch in a comfortable position because I was definitely jumping up and down. Probably would have spilled a drink if I was at a bar or something like that. It was good to see the offense, right? Good to see the offense moving the ball, being explosive. Russell Wilson was dialed in. He had a game of his career, and that says a lot. We've seen Russell play over the decade, right? How many great games he's had since his Seattle days. This is a career game for him. And Malik Neighbors, Wan'Dale Robinson, these guys were hitting on all cylinders. And for them to respond on how poorly they started on that first drive with all of those penalties, Hudson being the main, offender in that, they bounced back. They responded offensively. Now, defensively, giving up 40 points. I don't care if you were in the game late. If you lose a game like that as a defender, as a linebacker, Brandon, like we take it. Like that's our job. We were the reason why we lost. I say we because I've been on the side of that where offensively they're doing what they're supposed to do. Week 1, 6 points, not good enough. 37 points, that's definitely good enough to win a game against any team in the NFL. So defensively, I think they let the team down. Of course, we can get into some specifics. The mistakes, the penalties, I think the soft defense was the reason why a 37-point game from the offense ended up losing that game.
Yeah, JC, but on the other end of it, man, this is team game, bro. There's 3 phases to a football game, and if I'm on the offense, yeah, we exploded. Yeah, everybody ate, especially on the outside and the perimeter, and we got a chance to see young Scatterboo, what he can do. Theo Johnson, our guy Russ, was involved early.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, there's hidden yardage and there's points that we left on the board. So I'm gonna go up to a Paulson or Debo, and I'm gonna go up to a Bobby Okereke and tell you guys to hold your heads high because we could have gave y'all more of a cushion to play with, especially because you had the momentum early. So Russ, it's a team game, but at the end of the day, we all got to come together.
100%. I agree with Jonathan in terms of, it was soft there at the end, but you want to know what? It didn't have to be soft at the end. It didn't have to get to the end. If you would ask me the takeaways, my takeaway for all the guys is keep the same aggression on, but you have to know how to handle your aggression. Those mistakes, all those penalties, it didn't have to get to that point. They should have won the game a couple of times. It did not have to get to the point. You mentioned Theo Johnson, another guy I'll mention, and he made a mistake or two, but we talked about him last week, Brandon. Drew Phillips plays like a man. He made another big stop on a big third down play. He plays like a man. I like seeing that. And the biggest takeaway for me, which I really got a kick out of, everybody, the media, the fans, social media, talk radio, everybody had Russell Wilson dead and buried. It was nonstop about Jackson Dart. And you know what? I didn't see anybody eating crow yesterday. Not one person. Not one. No, I'm serious. I mean, Russell Wilson shut everybody up, and that needs to be, a big deal made out of it. The guy threw for 450 yards for crying out loud.
Wow.
So, I mean, I agree with Brandon. A lot of good things. Yeah, it's a team game. You complement each other. There were problems that have to be cleaned up. But I'm seeing Cam Scatterbo. We're seeing some young guys performing who are going to be a vital part of this team.
Well, and to your point, Russ, about Russell Wilson, the thing that stood out the most to me on his incredible performance is 52 seconds left in the game. The Giants need a touchdown. Russ walks onto the field so calmly, so steady. There was no urgency. There was no, high level of, okay, we got to get this done. It was just this calm presence. And that right there was like a Zen-like mentality. He executed, got the touchdown. right in that moment. And that is the type of leadership. This man has had 44 career fourth quarter game winning drives or overtime game winning drives. This could have been 45, but unfortunately, Brandon Aubrey's got a boot and kicked it from 64 seconds to overtime, and the Giants fell to the Cowboys. But another point, too, about the aggression. You want to be aggressive. What's that boxing analogy, Russ, that you always use?
What's that? Which one? I used a lot of them.
The angry.
No. You have to hit with bad intentions, but you have to be able to control it.
Well, and the aggressive mentality is going to be important because you're coming into your home opener in week 3 against a Kansas City Chiefs team that, yes, has been struggling to start the season, but did go to the Super Bowl last year. And Patrick Mahomes is a player who has got a lot of talent. And yes, we're seeing this offense, this Chiefs offense, in the first 2 weeks of the 2025 season not look like a Super Bowl contending Chiefs team that we've seen in years past. But we know that good teams find a way to win. And the Chiefs have this history in this record of being a good team. Patrick Mahomes has never in his career lost 3 straight games, and including the Super Bowl he has now. This is the first time. Can the Giants capitalize on the fact that this is a Chiefs team that is slumping right now, Brandon? And can they take the opportunity to say, all right, let's continue our trajectory of week 1, offense was struggling. Week 2, built on that, got some points on the board. Week 3, going to continue to grow against a Chiefs team that seems to be struggling right now?
Yeah, I mean, their mindset going into this game, they have to be a mixture of James Hudson with the aggression, but the coolness of a Russell Wilson. Because you talk about going up against a Patrick Mahomes, and this Chiefs team of Steve Spagnuolo, Andy Reid, they've been there before. We talk about primetime football games. It's something that the Giants have struggled with throughout the course of the decade. The Chiefs, they live on primetime. So if you're going to come into your home opener, JC, as you know, you're going to be geeked up for that, but you cannot let your emotions get the best of you. And lastly, to your point, Russ, it was Wednesday when everyone was kind of laughing at Russell Wilson when he was at his media availability after practice, and he goes, guys, I don't flinch. I've been through this before. And everybody was kind of like, oh, man.
Well, you're right. We looked at each other. Yeah.
Dude, Jackson Dart is going to be the starter. And then he came out and showed and proved it. So you want the aggression of the James Hudson. You want to take that nasty pill. But at the same time, you got to stay calm, cool, and collected. Because like you said, JC, you don't want to hurt the team.
Yeah, exactly. And look, let's be real about this. The reason why, and there was a lot of questions, especially after week 1 about Russell Wilson, but that was the reason why Daboll and Joe Shane went out to get Russell Wilson, a proven veteran, a proven guy who's won a Super Bowl, been to a couple Super Bowls, but most importantly, his demeanor. Russell brings a sense of calmness. He brings a sense of, all right, everybody relax, and in the old Aaron Rodgers terms, he brings that to the Giants, and you can see him galvanize the team like he did last week against the Cowboys. And the Giants needed a guy like that. They needed a guy that can galvanize the team. Now we got to get the defense now to be able to answer that call as well. And I think the Giants right now, because let's be real about this, guys, I think we all can agree that we didn't expect the Giants to put up this type of output on offense at all. Like they were never was going to be able to get to this point where we're going to score 37 points.
I don't know.
37 though?
Because every single preseason game, and again, preseason doesn't matter.
Oh, here you go with the preseason.
Mira, the preseason does matter because it was execution. The fact that they had 30 plus in every single game, execution, getting down the field, that showed, and that like ability to do that. Yes, it's a very different schematic game, but execution matters. And so seeing
it does. You're right about that.
Execute was something that I did expect. Okay, this is a team that's going to be able to execute and put points on the board. Week 1, we didn't see that execution in the same way that the expectation had been set. Week 2, offensively, the execution was there. And the fact that in that opening drive, despite 6 penalties for 60 yards, they still got a field goal out of it.
So crazy. That's so crazy.
The amount of yards that team traveled on that opening drive, because they were going this way and then going this way and then going this way and then going this way. That is why I think, it's not completely out of bounds to expect, okay, 30 points is.
So I'm with you on this one, Madelyn, because what do we see throughout the preseason that we didn't see week 1? A clean pocket. So this is what this entire offense is predicated off of. All four of those quarterbacks. Russ, me and you could have played quarterback in the preseason and threw for 300 like those dudes did. It was like the equipment staff didn't even have to wash their jerseys after. I know we got a tied.
There's also like fewer stunts and twists in
No,
the
I understand that. But at the end of the day, a clean pocket is a clean pocket. If you give Russ time to cook, you give Jackson Dart time to throw darts, they're going to get back there and they're going to slang that thing. We knew about the weapons we had on the perimeter. We've just never been able to evaluate these guys. We're talking about Wan'Dale Robinson, who averaged 7.9 yards per catch last season, and now he's running deep balls like him and Malik Neighbors are a carbon copy of each other. So Russ, when we talk about not of kind of expecting this is the Giants offense I expected once we got that offensive line shored up, and we got to give them their flowers as well.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Wan'Dale because, let's be frank. Wan'Dale came when they drafted him, we were expecting big things. Now, call it, from the beginning, being a rookie, maybe getting some drops, some injuries. We were waiting to see. Now, all of a sudden, because he had a good game in week 1, now you see Wan'Dale Robinson getting deep balls. You see Malik getting deep balls. Now you're seeing what kind of explosive offense, aerial attack this can be. I mean, that was quite something. It was bombs away, but now you believe you can see that. Before you wondered if we were going to see that. Before the question was, well, okay, it's Malik, and who else is going to do something? Mm-hmm. Well, it's that thought process kind of goes away. And, let's not forget about Darius. And you mentioned also Theo. Theo Johnson, he had a real bad game in week 1, and we were talking about it, and he bounced back very, very nicely in Dallas. Very nicely.
But again, Dallas is behind us now. Giants are turning their attention to Kansas City. You got Sunday Night Football. In one sentence one sentence, Casillas, how do you describe the energy of Sunday Night Football?
Oh man, it's going to be an amazing atmosphere. It sucks that both teams are 0-2, but this is kind of a must-win game for both teams. And no matter what they look like on film, the Chiefs, what their record looks like, they still are the Chiefs. They still are a team that went to 3 Super Bowls in a row. They still have Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and Steve Spagnuolo. And Patrick Mahomes is doing everything for the team right now. No Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy out. They really can't run the ball with their running backs. So he's the running back. He's the quarterback. He's playing receiver at times too, guys, because this guy, and we've all seen it throughout his career, he can do anything. He can will this team to a win. And if Spag's defenses can catch fire, which they haven't done quite yet, they did that last year, this team is a force to be reckoned with at all times, no matter who's on the field.
I gotta say, Casillas, that is a long sentence, but I appreciate these. I'm just kidding.
There was no period.
Semicolon.
There's no period. Commas, semicolon, ellipses, all of that. We're trying to rapid fire over here, and he's like, "Let me." In this 5-paragraph essay, I will say,
GPT.
In your 1 to 30 sentences, what is your assessment of how we're going to be perceiving this Chiefs team on Sunday Night Football?
It's all about the turnover chest. The Giants defense is going to have to create more turnovers. They got their hands on some pass breakups this past weekend, but you want to turn the ball over and create more possessions for the offense.
Shout out to Drew Phillips, though, who did get the takeaway, the first interception off Dak Prescott this season. Russ, what's the key to the game on Sunday Night Football?
You know what I said before last week? They got to be aggressive. They got to go after it, but they can't shoot themselves in the foot. They have to, they have to focus on staying under control. That's the biggest thing. But I think also you want to generate some ground game. And I think we're just touching the surface on what Cam Scatterbo is going to be. I believe that young man, and I don't want to jinx him, is going to be a folk hero in this town. I think he's got that type of personality and that type of game. I mean, he runs with authority and acts it, and he conducts himself like a veteran. But of course, that aside, we need the same kind of attack that we got to see last week, and then, let the defense come up with some plays. And
Yeah. Well,
I
and to your
think
point about Scattaboo too, he's out there wearing 44, running angry like John Riggins, just bulldozing dudes. So it's going to be exciting to watch that continue to unfold. But as we do look at Sunday Night Football, Giants, Chiefs, a lot of narrative and storyline about what we're going to see on the field. But there's a lot more around this matchup. And Russ, I know that you've got some fun trivia for us as usual right now. Let's see if we can not let you down this week and actually get it this time.
Okay,
We're doing our best, this crew.
I will bet you guys will let me down because what do you know? What do you say? And I don't think you're going to say too many right answers. So I got 2 questions for you this week. Let's go through them. I want you people to name one of 3 current Giants who started their careers with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Started their careers? Because, I mean, Mike Kafka has been with the Kansas City
Okay.
previously.
Madelyn, I'm not going to go for a mile run. Let's get to it. Let's get to some answers here, okay? And one guy, his name, he has a nickname for his name. That's what we call him. We all call him by his nickname.
Nacho.
Bingo! Okay.
There you go.
Got that. There you go.
Oh, there we go. Okay, Nacho.
Any thoughts on the other 2?
Man, I have nothing.
The under and over on you guys getting the other 2 is 0. It ain't happening, okay?
Elijah Garcia.
No.
No, he came from Rice and Owls.
No. Well, I don't hear Brandon even chipping in.
I can't. I have nothing for you.
It's Nick Jones and Swayze Bozeman who's on a practice squad.
Okay.
Yeah, no, over under
No,
zero
we would have never got that.
All right, here we go. Here's the second one.
Okay.
Back in 2017, the Giants beat the Chiefs in an overtime game 12-9. 1 touchdown was scored for the Giants. Who scored it? I'll give you a hint. He was not a receiver. He was a running back. The year was 2017.
Wayne Gallman.
No. And
Rashad Jennings.
And here's another hint for you. His first name is the name of a city that the
Orleans
Giants
Darkwa.
will be playing in this
Orleans
season.
Darkwa.
There we go.
Orleans Darkwa.
Casillas, I mean, he was your teammate for crying out loud.
I had to get that one right. I was going to keep guessing until I got it right.
You were on that roster.
I was on the team.
All right, look at us. Just, eking our way through trivia. The more you know graphic, throw it on the screen, producer Pearson, or don't. I don't know if it's copywritten, but either way, we're learning, we're expanding minds over here as we dive into Chiefs and Giants. Okay, Kansas City is located in between Kansas and Missouri, but it got producer Pearson thinking that we should get some blind rankings going on cities that are named after states. So, Russ, you and I are going to grade who comes up with the best list right now. Brandon and Casillas, here's how it works. Blind rankings. I'm going to throw out a city. There's 4 different cities. And you're going to blind rank them 1 through 4, the best city to the least best city that is named after a state. You good?
Yep.
All right. Starting with Kansas City. 1 through 4, blind rankings, Brandon?
I'm going to go 4 because I've played there before. It's very cold, but the barbecue is really good.
Casillas?
I'm going to go 3 because it's actually in 2 states at the same time. Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City, Kansas.
We got taxed double. I hated it.
Like such as the maps. He's got it. Okay. Second city, Virginia Beach.
1. I mean, I'm 757. You know, that's my area code. Plax is from down there. Pharrell Williams. I mean, come on now. 757 is the greatest area code known to man.
Casillas?
I'm going to go 2. I mean, when you attach beach to a name, I think that just puts a little bit of a little feng shui on the name, no matter what town or state you're in. Virginia Beach sounds really cool, actually.
Okay. Jersey City.
Yes.
I'm going to go 2. I'm going to go 2. Only because 2007, my rookie year, they told us to stay out of Jersey City. All of a sudden, there's Starbucks all over the place, and I didn't even invest in it. So I'm the entrepreneur inside of me is a little bit upset, but I have a good time anytime I go hang out in JC.
So obviously, I was waiting for this. This is obviously my number 1 choice. I was born in Jersey City. It's so funny. I meet people all the time and they be like, "Oh, where you from?" Like Jersey City. Be like, "Oh, Jersey City's so nice," and it's like, not the part I'm from. That part's a little bit different, but I love Jersey City. It is my hometown, and it's very diverse. It doesn't have a beach, but you can get to New York City really quickly.
Yeah, doesn't have a beach, it has a city.
It has the city. All right. So Brandon, you've got 1, 2, and 4 spoken for. Casillas, you've got 1, 2,
Two
and
and three.
3 spoken for. Which leaves us with the last one on our list here, New York City.
That would have been 1. I should have had that as 1, but not. At least it's 3. The
There you go.
taxes, but I mean, there's no city like this. It's not like, I mean, as a player, I played in Miami, tried to make the team in Pittsburgh. There's no city like this, especially as an athlete.
Yeah, reluctantly, I got to go with number 4 is the only option I had left. I do think New York City is one of the greatest cities to go to, but not to live in. I think the ranking wise for me living in these cities, 4 would be New York City because I don't want to live there. I want to be close, but I don't want to be in the city.
Have
It's
you lived
crazy
in the
over
city
there.
before, though?
No, I don't want to live there.
Don't knock it
No.
till you try it. I'm just saying, don't knock it till you try it. All right. I mean, listen, we could throw in like a little sprinkle of Indianapolis too. Honorable mention, Indianapolis. I don't know. I was trying to say it the way it sounded like the state, but anyway. Russ, what do you
what
think?
I take away from
How'd
all
these guys
this?
do? Yeah.
I started to it. You know what I take away from all this between the trivia questions that he comes up with and this capitals and cities and whatever? I think our producer, our very fine producer, Pearson Butler, has far too much time on his hands to be coming up with this stuff. Far too much time.
Oh, man.
I still can't believe that neither of y'all saved that number 1 spot for New York City. When I think of a city that is named after a state, that's the first one that comes to mind. But you know what? Credit to Jersey City and Virginia Beach.
Yes.
Got to get that
There you go.
hometown ranking number 1. Russ, who won the blind rankings? Who had a better ranking?
I'm gonna go with, you know what? I'm gonna have to go with Brandon, only because Casillas, what he end up with? I'm trying to remember that Casillas ended up with New York.
Last.
New York was number 4. It was number 4.
New York had to be number 1. So
Yeah, I mean, Casillas had Jersey City number 1, which is
well, I get that because he's from Jersey City.
I'm about to say, watch your
crying out
mouth.
loud,
Watch your
it's
mouth.
New York.
and also the New York Giants are a New Jersey team as well, so we got to give a little love to Jersey City. But yeah, New York 4 is that's just a no.
Who knows?
Yeah, it's bad.
I can only imagine what Pearson's going to think of a happy hour for next week with the trivia and all.
No, see, I disagree. I think we need to get him to a happy hour. He's got too much time coming up with this nonsense.
Pearson stays booked and busy while he's running the boards for Big Blue Kickoff or editing all of our content over there. He's probably sitting there watching this render saying, all right, what else can I do for us?
Right.
Shout out to producer Pearson for keeping this ship on track.
Absolutely.
Speaking of on track, we got to move along because Chiefs game obviously coming up Sunday night at MetLife Stadium, home opener. Let's do a little over-under. Talking about, first of all, the run game. Run game is something that the Giants, despite putting up 37 points in week 2, still haven't really fully established. They had 84 rushing yards as a team. Over under, Brandon, 100 rushing yards for the Giants week 3 Sunday Night Football.
I'm going to go over because they have to. You have to be able to stay on the field and sustain drives, whether it be not having penalties or being able to break, not so much explosive runs, but runs that keep you ahead of the chain. So between Scatterboo and Tyrone Tracy Jr., I think they go with the over.
Russ?
I agree with Brandon. I think they go with the over as well because also, I mean, if you get the running game going, then you know your passing game's going. But I think also based upon the passing attack that the Giants displayed last week, Chiefs are going to be conscious of that. I think the Giants, I'm going to go over as well.
Casillas?
I agree with them that the Giants have to figure out how to run for over 100 yards. I just don't think they're capable of doing that right now, especially against this defensive front with Spagnuolo, Chris Jones, Nick Bolton, all of those guys that the Kansas City Chiefs bring. I don't know if they're capable of doing that quite yet. If you add in some Russell Wilson plays where he scrambles, maybe that can get them over 100, but I don't think they'll be able to get over 100, especially with the running backs alone.
Yeah, you don't want Russ to be the leading rusher like he was in
Right.
week one. The longest run the Giants had in week two, 24 yards, Cam Scatterboot when Jackson Dart came in and handed the ball off. I think they need to get over 100 yards. Remains to be seen if they do. I might even take the under unless maybe Andrew Thomas is back in that offensive line. We will see. Defensively, passing yards allowed is what we're going to talk about here. Patrick Mahomes in week one threw for 258 yards. Week two, just 187. Patrick Mahomes not looking like the Mahomes of yesteryear. Casillas, as the linebacker on the panel here, over under 250 passing yards allowed to Patrick Mahomes.
I'm going to go under. I think this game is going to be a little bit more of a defensive game, unlike last week, Giants versus Cowboys, where it was just basically a shootout. I think both teams are going to try to establish run. I think you're going to see a little bit more punts. Both teams haven't ran the ball successfully at all. And when you're 0-2 and you're self-scouting, you look at each other, you look at yourself and say, we need to run the ball. So I think both teams are going to try to run the ball a lot more. I think it's going to speed the game up a little bit, and the time is going to, it's not going to be as many plays. Dallas ran 82 plays last week. I don't think that number gets anywhere near close. Of course, they went to overtime, but I think the number is going to be a lot lower than that.
Russ?
250 yards, boy. My gut tells me under also. I just don't see that happening. I think, as we were talking about earlier, I think the Giants are going back to the drawing board, learn from their mistakes, correct certain things. I think the pass rush is going to be there. So I'm going with the under.
Brandon?
I mean, I'm gonna go over the over on this one. There's some things that needs to be shored up on the back end, especially when it comes to the deep crossing routes and the overs. If they don't get there on the sacks, then that's just giving these receivers time to run down the football field. And you never try and go against Patrick Mahomes, but they're gonna need to keep them under, but for the right now until they, like Missouri, the show me state, until they show it, I'm gonna have to go with the over.
Yeah, I think that watching the frustration from that Chiefs offense in week two against the Eagles and their inability to get things going, I would assume that this is a team that's going to bounce back and kind of throw it this week. But I do like Casillas' perception of this being a defensive battle. However, I could see it being a slight over for Patrick Mahomes, over 250 passing yards. Lastly, Wan'Dale Robinson. We talked about him earlier in the show, just what an incredible performance we saw from him in week two, what a dominant receiver he's shown to be. Russ, over under 7 receptions for Wan'Dale Robinson. He's had 6 and 8 in each of the previous 2 games. So is 7 right in the middle? Does he go over or under that?
Well, you know what? That's right about the number. That is right about the number. I'm going to say he goes over that. I'm going to say he goes over. Oh, hang on one second. 7, huh? Yeah, I'll go with the over.
All right. Brandon, as the receiver in the crew, what do you think?
I'm going to go under because you've seen the emergence of Theo Johnson. You see Darius Slayton get a ball or 2 last game. I think it's something that Steve Spagnuolo understands, that Wan'Dale Robinson is Russell Williams' pacifier. He's what makes him comfortable. Shout out to my 2-year-old son who still wants his pacifier from time to time. But he's going to be able to get the ball and distribute the ball to other guys. So I think this may be the one game that Wan'Dale takes a hit. And 6 catches is not a bad night at all.
Casillas?
I think he's slightly over. I think 7 is a good number. I didn't see an even option here, so I'm going to go over. When you look at defensively, when you look at an offense, you can't double 2 guys unless you literally script the defense to double 2 guys. You're usually doubling 1. Who's going to get doubled? It's going to be Malik Neighbors. It's not going to be Wan'Dale. 3rd down, he has been Russell Wilson's best friend. He's been a guy that, when you are on the outside, Brandon, you know this, when you're on the outside, it's a little bit of a more difficult throw. Wan'Dale plays a lot inside. Those are, I wouldn't say easier throws, but they're a little bit simpler. They're simpler throws. They're easier finds when it comes down to going through your progression. So I think he might actually have more catches this week because the focus will be on Neighbors.
I agree with you, Casillas. And I think watching last week's game, watching week 2 against Dallas, it looked like just the eye test was like Wandale is Russ's favorite target right now on
Yeah.
so many times. He went to him so frequently. And to your point, JC, about you can't double both guys. If you double Malik and you double Wandale, then you got Theo open, then you got the run game open. There's only so many players on the field. So I think if you're a pick your poison, you're kind of doubling Malik, and Wandale has proven to be a reliable option for Russell Wilson. So we'll see if he gets it going, but I'm taking the over on that receptions as well. All right. Lastly, final thoughts. Giants Chiefs Sunday Night Football. One word. How are you going to describe this one, Brandon?
Oof, man, you got me. Shootout. No. But let me go back on that one. Classic. I think this is going to be a classic. You're trying to change the narrative on primetime TV. Giants got to go out swinging, but be able to be smart enough to take a punch so they get the 15 yards.
Russ, what's your word to describe this one?
Just one word.
Mm-hmm.
Violence. I think it's going to be a nose to nose. Both teams are 0-2. Giants are ticked off how they lost last week. They're angry. They want to, correct things. It's Sunday night at home, season opener, violent football game.
Violence. Hey, listen, anger is only a letter away from danger. So let's keep it safe, friends. Casillas, what was your word for this one?
I'm gonna go eye opener. I think a lot of people would look at the Giants, and of course, they saw what Russell Wilson did. They might give the Giants a little bit of respect, but the Giants are 0-2. The Giants haven't fared well in the division. I know this is not a division game, but this is the Chiefs. The 3 appearances in a Super Bowl in a row, the Andy Reid, the Patrick Mahomes. If the Giants can go ahead and handle business Sunday night, this will be an eye opener for guys around the league.
I like it. I think I'm going to go with reset. Week 1 wasn't what the Giants wanted to see. Week 2, trending in the right direction, but a tough loss. Let's reset, let's rebrand, and let's get the dub for this Giants team on Sunday Night Football. Home opener. You don't want to miss it. Come out to MetLife Stadium and join us. And also tune in to Giants Hangouts, Giants.com, and Giants Socials for all your latest Big Blue content. But that's a wrap for Week 3 Giants Hangout, brought to you by Crestron. For Jonathan Casillas, Russ Salzberg, and Brandon London, I'm Madelyn Burke. We'll see you next time.